What's up, everyone, and welcome to Variant, the podcast. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Arris?
You know, just living life.
Living the dream, as they say. Mm-hmm. What's up, Variant Nation? Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
We have, first of all, today might be a little riffy in the sense that Arris has got a lot on his mind.
Do I?
We were talking before we went on air here. We started recording.
Oh, I have theories.
And Arris is, he's just being weighed down by a lot of existential, philosophical
we touched on this
conundrums
a week or two ago. Government saying aliens.
Yeah.
Tim. They're saying aliens. It's been on my mind ever since.
Arris recently discovered that the government lies.
No, look. This is the thing. This is the thing. They said aliens, right? Everyone's been like, there's aliens. Then see, the thing is, they didn't really like officially say, right?
No, they didn't.
They didn't officially say. It's just one of the dudes.
I mean, kind of, but not really.
Right. Which is why, like, people were like, why are more people freaking out? I was like that initially too, but I'm like, I guess because like,
did I calm you down?
It's not like the president came out and was like, hey guys, we're not alone. Like, it's not, but
that's not going to happen until 2027.
But it's still like crazy that they're legitimately saying non-human biologics in front of Congress.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Which could be like, they found coffee on board.
And do you think this info came out just around the time of Secret Invasion finale? Is it coincidence?
On accident?
On accident? You think it's an accident?
I think not.
No, they're telling us they've
coincidence.
They've infiltrated. Let's be honest. If we found out that a lot of the world's leaders are Skrulls, it would make a lot of sense.
I, for one, not surprised. Nope.
I'd be like, that explains so much.
So many things. And then it just leads you down the rabbit hole.
Because, you know, I'm a firm believer, Tim. I'm a firm believer.
I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her.
And Nessie, do you believe in the Loch Ness, the sea monster?
Loch Ness monster?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Nessie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You don't really?
No.
You don't believe in
I mean, I've never met her.
But you don't think, okay. You don't think it's plausible that there is a quote unquote, we use the word sea monster. I'm not necessarily saying it's like the freaking Kraken where it's like a giant kaiju.
That would be great.
That would be great.
That would be cool. Except for, you know, going on cruise ships might be a little more unnerving.
But they're very well, or it could very well be a creature we just haven't discovered yet. And so to us, it's a monster or alien.
That's absolutely possible.
I mean, what is this statistically? Like,
because it's a lake, though.
It is, but there could be secret tunnels under that lake.
Oh boy! Somebody's been on some websites. Just saying, somebody's gone down some dark rabbit trails
in a world where aliens
landed
exist.
Tim. I'm just saying, you might be on a couple watch lists now.
What?
You just you know,
because I know too much.
Now you know too much.
What if I'm a Skrull?
Yeah, or
what if I'm a Skrull?
They're just looking at you and they're going, questionable.
Think about it. So
they've seen your browser history.
I think I said this last time. I'm gonna say it again because it's one of my favorite theories, and like people laugh, but it's like you couldn't prove it if it was true. So the whole Men in Black thing, right?
Oh yeah,
they got the little flashy thing.
You said this last time.
Yeah, because it's brilliant.
What's it called? A neuralizer?
A neuralizer. Yes, a neuralizer. So it's the most brilliant thing because for all you know, I could have just done it to you. You would never know. That's the whole point of the device, to be like, yeah, no, because I could like rewrite your last hour or so of your memories to make you believe anything just happened.
Well, now you have me questioning. Did you do that?
Maybe, but point is,
I would never know.
The point is, you could argue and be like, no, it never happened. That's so dumb. Like, but that's the whole point of it. That's exactly you fighting me on it is literally the point of that device.
Yeah, I guess in theory. That would be accurate.
But also, like, is it with all the tech in the world that we have now and stuff we don't have, is it really that far-fetched that a device like that exists?
No, I mean, see, now you're going to get me start answering these things seriously.
With AI and aliens and all this stuff.
In all reality, it's not in the sense that, like, they've been experimenting with ways to make people forget things and like psychological warfare and all kinds of stuff for years. They even
do like stuff like subliminal messaging, obviously, like in TVs, music, like all that
psychological programming, all kinds of. They've been doing it for legit decades.
Yeah.
Decades and decades and decades.
Like, I don't.
So is it possible that there's a piece of technology that would, you know, affect that? Yeah, sure. I mean, if they develop, it's like you said, if they did, like, let's say like DARPA, if they developed something like that and it was being used by the military or the intelligence community or something like that, you would never know.
But it makes me think this whole aliens thing, right? Because as soon as I heard that, I'm sure I'm not the only one who was like, Men in Black, though, right? Because we know Men in Black was actually based off of like the Men in Black.
So you guys thought I was kidding when I said Men in Black has got some stuff going on in his life right now.
But no, Men in Black, as you know, I'm sure a lot of you listening and watching know, was based on Men in Black that people would see and theorize when like aliens showed up or big events. Even freaking like the whole, now I'm not saying I believe this or not, but there's theories.
Arris thinks Men in Black is a documentary.
No, but even like the whole when
when
stuff like 9/11 happened
on Twitter,
you hear the people who are saying Men in Black came in, took all the camera footage and all that stuff.
Yep.
You know, so there's a lot of theories out there, and that's where Men in Black is like based off of. But with aliens existing, it's like in the, you know, this guy saying that we've been experimenting with their crafts, their technology. It's like, yeah, so maybe there is a secret organization out there that wiped your mind last year and you don't even know.
They work directly with the lizard people.
Yeah, you know?
And the gray men.
It's possible.
That live underground.
All I'm saying is...
in the hidden world called, what is it, Agatha? Or whatever they call it?
All I'm saying is, Tim, all I'm saying is, if aliens are real... is it really that far-fetched that Sasquatch is real, freaking ghosts are real, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster?
Listen,
freaking,
I'm telling you,
you know, demons, vampires, werewolves,
down the rabbit hole the man falls.
And you know, this has actually
deeper and deeper into Wonderland.
This has actually been documented. That there's been mad scientists and stuff that literally pulled a Frankenstein and try to put body parts and brains and stuff together to make it come alive.
That stuff's been going on legitimately since the 18th century.
Exactly. But is it really that crazy to think they did it behind the scenes somewhere?
And that is who built the pyramids.
Aliens. Now we know. Now we know definitively aliens. What are you talking about? Now we know. I'm just saying.
So this might go on for the remainder of the show. Because, you know, you never know what's going to spark it. Also, is what I'm saying. The next,
listen,
you know, just thought experiment or verbal vomit.
Listen, hear me out.
Could come at any moment.
Hear me out. I was on X, as they call it now, which that's a weird thing. Don't
admit to doing drugs on live on the podcast,
bro. Like Twitter, like was that not a weird thing? It was a weird thing for me. I don't know if you guys did or you heard it, but I literally woke up one morning and legit opened my phone. The Twitter icon is glitching in and out.
Well, it happened suddenly.
It was literally going from like the blue bird we all know to like this black thing. I'm like, what the frick is happening? And then it finally just set on the X, which is what it's now.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, Elon Musk and his CEO are like, hey, we're X now.
SpaceX. Why not call the social media platform X? Anyway,
I was on X, as it's called now, and I saw that scientists, this has been something they've been doing for years. But they've reached like, I guess, a significant point to where they've been trying to use reptile DNA, like Kurt Connors from freaking Spider-Man, to regrow limbs. And they've hit a new milestone.
Yeah.
And I was like...
they're called chimeras.
I was like...
that's really what their name is, yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Alex Jones told us.
Wow. And I was like, wow. So like all this stuff you read in comic books and fiction for years, aliens included, you're like, oh, it's fake. It's fantasy. Funny pages. It's just go read your guys in capes.
Stanley tried to tell us, guys.
And then it's like, oh, they're really doing this and it might actually be a thing. So when you see humans turn into humanoid lizards running around like Kurt Connors, Stanley said it like decades ago.
Stanley tried to warn us.
Just saying.
Maybe Stanley was an alien.
Just saying.
Like a benevolent alien, a sweet, sweet, benevolent comic book writing alien.
In all seriousness, though, isn't it like weird that a lot of this stuff that you've been reading and seeing in fiction and stuff like that is like, it's really not that far-fetched, and or some of it is true.
Yeah, no. I've told you for many years, none of that does not surprise me. Like, because so much of what goes on in Hollywood, like so many of the people that
Minority Report?
Yeah, they are, you know, the writers and things like that. A lot of the stuff that they write about stuff that they've actually heard or read or seen or are aware of because they're amongst certain circles of people. And so they will change elements and then they incorporate things that are true into fictional stories. And so not everything that you see can be written off. I mean, a lot of the spy thrillers that are written by authors, just, you know, some of them actually have connections to the intelligence community themselves, but some of them are just writers, but they get into networks of anonymous sources within the governments, like not just the US government, but around the world. And they feed them intel and tell them things that have gone on and things like that. And then they just completely change names. And so you can't, you know, but you don't know which part is true and which part isn't.
That's why Rian Johnson did what he did with Star Wars.
He was trying to tell us something. We don't know what.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker drinking the blue or green milk off of that weird alien
Most
creature.
Of us are like,
that was some symbolic message in that. We don't know what it is, but it's there.
Most of us are like, you bastard. Meanwhile, he's like, he's in the know, really. He's like, you'll catch up. Give it 10 years.
We don't know what any of the messages are, but they're in there. We just got to play the movie backwards. That's the problem. You got to play it backwards, and then you get the message.
I'm just saying, scrolls, Sasquatch.
It's gonna be a weird one, gang. Hold on to your butts.
But like, can you imagine? I've asked, can you like, in all seriousness, can you imagine waking up one day and like there's like a mothership hovering over like the Capitol or something?
Yeah,
what do you do with that? Like,
you immediately started asking that after you saw Independence Day.
Yeah, what do you do?
Well, you do what Will Smith did.
Well, obviously, wow, you get in a jet.
Yeah, you obviously go to the nearest air base.
They need me,
and you volunteer for.
Tom Cruise could do that.
Tom Cruise is doing it right now.
Tom Cruise is
but he might be fighting on the other side.
Oh my God, he is.
Yeah, he might.
Doesn't he pray to Zert? What is that?
Xenu.
Xenu.
Yeah, Scientology.
That's a real Scientology. That's a real thing.
He might be.
That also makes sense.
That's why he can do what he does at 60.
That's what I'm saying. All the stunts he does, you know how fast he can still run, keeping his fit going.
It's a legit theory.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
What is the Scientology alien? Zuru? You said?
Xenu?
Xenu. Oh, that's better.
Scientology thing is all over the place. I don't even know. Wow. Yeah. L. Ron Hubbard.
We're on a list somewhere just for talking badly about them.
Yeah, just for talking about in any kind of way.
I don't have the millions to join you anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. Well, you're just not allowed to say anything.
It's not. Yeah. Well, I thought that just means I'm never allowed to enter.
You see right there, you got us canceled. Congratulations.
For making it for
we're on like 3 different hit lists.
I forgot the name again. What's the name again?
I'm not going to say it anymore.
Zuru,
no,
Xenu,
drag me down this road with you.
Xenu, the alien god Xenu.
Listen, my God. Tom,
wait a minute.
I think you might be onto something.
Maybe they were right. Maybe it is right.
We have to go through what do they call it? Where they clearing? Where they clear your mind, or they there's a term that they use in
Scientology?
Use electroshock therapy, I think it is.
Wasn't there like a minute in Hollywood where like so many people were like,
yeah.
Like,
well, it became huge.
Will Smith, it was
it's anyone really shocked now? Extremely powerful organization in Hollywood. Have you ever heard Leah Remini talk about Scientology? Because she was a Scientologist and like her experiences.
Is she not anymore?
No, she got out and she went on full like whistleblower mode, and she just put them on blast. Like everywhere. She went on Rogan.
Was she basically like their cult? Is that what she was like?
Well, yes, but she gets like, she names names. She talks about Tom Cruise, like his level, what level he's at inside the organization, what he can and can't do. John Travolta.
Travolta.
She flat out said, she was on Joe Rogan, and she flat out said that John Travolta is at a level inside. I can't remember the name. They give a title to people at certain levels.
He also flies planes. Coincidence? I think not.
But she flat out said that they could kill someone and they would have to cover it up. The church would automatically cover it up. They can kill people if they want, and they will cover it up for it and make sure it goes away.
Face off. Face off.
Just saying.
Man.
So that might be the gateway right there. We may have just cracked it.
How?
Scientology might be the gateway to the underworld.
Next week
with the lizard
on the podcast, it's not really going to be us. It's going to be the scroll versions of us, because they're going to come after us like tomorrow probably.
I'm going to pay extra close attention on my ride home.
Gonna get sucked up from your chest.
Now you're wondering, are these guys, do you have anything specific to talk about? And the answer is yes. We did come here with things to talk about, but this
is very important.
Yeah, this is real world, real life
information.
I feel like these are things that need to be discussed.
Okay.
Mostly by you.
Mostly by what?
Because it's really like interesting, your theories.
I mean, because like I'm so good at it, or
like they're really like I've never thought of these things this way before.
Meanwhile, a bunch of you listening are like, just saying, Just I'm turning into the guy from the History Channel who's like, aliens. Flash forward years, a few years, like, yeah, aliens.
Aliens.
What's crazy about this whole thing, if this turns out that like to be 100% confirmed, it's like, it'll be really funny or just nutty in general. That's like all the people who claim to be abducted, like a good portion of them, or let's say like half of them were probably telling the truth.
They become the guy.
It's like, see, I told you I got sucked up and they were doing probing stuff.
That's the character from Independence Day.
Yes.
What's the guy's name who plays him? Randy Quaid.
Okay.
Randy Quaid's character in Independence Day, where he's like, I done told you, they're coming for you.
And he sees like, I'm like, you bastards. Yeah. Oh, because he sacrifices himself at the end.
Yeah,
that's
he's
right.
like, I'm back. Yeah. That's great. So all those people would turn into Randy Quaid.
That's funny. That's funny. What was that movie? There was this is the last thing I'll say in the alien bit, but there was a movie that freaked me out as a child that I don't know why my parents even let me see.
Star Kid?
No, it was based on a true story, a true abduction story. You
know I know what you're talking about.
And they show the guy like getting probed and stuff, and they put him in the cocoon.
Yeah. Dang it! What is the name of that? Oh,
like he gets abducted in the front. Was it Fire in the Sky?
Fire in the Sky.
That's movie, 1993. So
it's based on one of the most notorious abduction stories ever recorded.
Bro, I was
a group of guys,
6 years old, my daughter's age.
That's disturbing.
And I don't know what they were thinking. Like I had the parents.
They were thinking they wanted to see the movie and they didn't have a babysitter. That's what they were thinking.
I had the parents to let me see anything. Like I saw freaking Hollow Man. That was the first pair of boobies I saw ever. That's a thing.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I know. That was a thing. They just took me, and I remember vividly. Like it came on.
Mommy?
No, and I got.
Are they supposed to be showing that?
And I saw it, and my mom like so delayed after the fact puts her hand over my eyes, but it was too late. I was already like, yeah, I just saw that. And yeah, the whole point of this is like I was allowed to see any horror movie. Wow. My dad would have like Tales of the Crypt on when I was like 8. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
And stuff like
that. My
wife's
wife's parents were that way.
Yeah, but like, you know, that benefited me in a lot of ways in the sense that like I got to see Spawn, the live action movie, when I shouldn't have been able to see that, but dope movie. I remember seeing that in Manhattan, New York. A lot of movies that.
Well, I mean, you're going to watch it with your 7-year-old.
Spawn, yeah. Freaking that crazy clown. I loved it as a kid, but like definitely shouldn't have been able to see it. Anyway, point is, they let me see Fire in the Sky, 6 to 7 years old, and it freaked like even sleeping in my parents' room. I was still scared.
Oh my gosh.
Because I thought like going to the kitchen, I was gonna get abducted and like in a cocoon and they were gonna probe me.
It makes so much sense now. This is really, this is like a good therapy session for you. Because really what we're doing is we're drilling down into where the trauma came from. Like why the aliens thing is so disturbing for you. You know what I mean? It all traces back to that moment, Arris, when you were 6 years old.
We have guys
sitting in that theater being traumatized.
We have guys in our Air Force and military who went before Congress.
I'm just saying.
Congress.
Listen, it's okay to face your traumas.
You think Congress is a joke?
I can't answer that on camera.
Oh, man.
Whatever. I'm just saying, we may have cracked the code as to why Arris did the aliens thing. He's concerned about getting probed.
All I'm saying is, nothing shocks me anymore.
I will let anybody probe you, Arris.
That sounded wrong. Nothing shocks me anymore. Nothing.
No, not at this point.
No.
Nothing. And I also don't believe anything. That's like this is the negative place that they've put me in.
But this, yes.
Like I believe absolutely nothing. I'm like, look, dead bodies or we're moving on.
But that's kind of like, cause
should bring them in and I want body bags. I want to see flesh or we're moving on.
That's kind of where like I'm at too, like being serious for a second. It's like, it's fun to joke and talk about that. And it's like, I do think it is possible, but it's also like, what if because I told you this when it first happened. So I'm like, it's definitely, I believe anything now, but it's also like, why are you telling us now?
Yeah, that was my whole thing.
Why?
That was my immediate
why
reaction.
are you like, hey guys, aliens, to distract us from what?
Yeah, I said that in 2020 when they first started doing this, like right in the middle of like the madness.
What's that comedian?
I was like, you mean to tell me
What's the comedian?
The one I was telling you about.
The stock market is skyrocketing, and they're like,
"Oh no! That's Mo Amer." I thought you were talking about the one I mentioned last time. Where it's the best bit. Because Mo Amer is really funny too, but he doesn't talk about aliens. But the other guy does.
That's what because he's
what?
like
he mentions it in the bit
because he uses it like for what we're talking about. It's a distraction from everything else going on. He's like, we're all home, but the stock market is skyrocketing.
Aliens are real.
Yeah. He's like, how is the stock market skyrocketing if no one's working? It doesn't make any sense. Hey. Here's some hush money, $1,500 a month. Just chill out. Oh, okay. Wait, but it's still going up. It's still going up. Hey, aliens are real. Oh, aliens are real. It's still going up. What are you talking about?
Yeah. The other one is
Jada cheated on Will.
Yeah. Jada, no.
Jada.
Yeah, that whole bit. That was one of the funniest comedic bits I saw in like of the last few years because it was like perfect timing too. It was one of the first like live stand-up routines to come out after all the madness in 2020 and 2021. And I was crying laughing. I told you about it right away. No, I was like, it was just Mo Amer. If you've never seen it, I think it's called Welcome to Texas or From Texas.
Yeah, because he's El Paso, I believe, or something like that.
He's from Houston.
Oh, he's Houston? Okay.
And that hit the whole opening bit of that stand-up routine was amazing. The other one I was talking about, I mentioned it the last show, is that one comedian, I don't know his name, where he's like, you don't believe any conspiracy theories? He's like, I understand you don't believe all of them, but you don't believe any conspiracy.
See, that's where I'm at. We're kindred spirits.
The government's in charge of everybody. You're telling me they're batting 1,000? I got just one son, and I lie to that dude all the time.
See?
It's that whole bit. So funny.
That's
so
where I'm at. Who's that guy's name? Because I
can't remember his name.
But he's got my mindset. Really that's my mindset right there. It's like, you think none of that stuff is real?
Yeah, we live in a time. That's why I say I just don't believe anything. You're gonna have to prove it to me.
But like I told you, even if they're like, here's footage or here's a picture, you're gonna be. It's easy in this day and age to be like CGI, fake, Photoshop, AI. Like, so even at that point, it's like, do you really? You're gonna have to like go to a zoo. It's in a cage somewhere. Like, look at it.
I gotta poke it. Open the cage. I gotta poke it.
What was that ride in Disney World along? It was the one that turned into the Stitch ride.
Alien Attack.
Alien. Remember they would report it in. It's gonna have to be like that, where they bring it in so we could like investigate it. Like, there it is.
And that's when it sends out its telepathic messages and captures all of our brains, and then we all turn into zombie monsters. And that, it's a whole thing.
Or maybe this is a theory I'm going to create on my own.
Oh, God.
Maybe, like Brainiac, what is he all about? Intelligence, right? Encapsulating,
right?
And gathering all the intelligence in the universe, right? And he puts them in his little bottles and he shrinks them. He's got Candor, all that stuff. So he's all about that. It's kind of sort of like AI in a weird way, right?
I mean, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what if AI is actually alien in nature?
I mean, if it was...
What if it's alien in nature? It's literally artificial alien intelligence, and they're telling us about aliens right around the time AI is popping off, and it all kind of links.
Well, here's my problem with that theory. If AI is alien in nature, the aliens are not very bright.
Why? What if they're playing the long game like freaking Thrawn?
I mean, it's possible.
They're like, but we don't need to win the battle. We just got to win the war.
He's got some work to do.
ChatGPT made a way better script for the freaking Star Wars sequels than Disney. Okay?
That's not saying anything. My 7-year-old could do that.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, boy.
Shots
Don't
fired.
Get mad. It was kind of a joke.
That was meaner than even what I said. You just took it times 2.
I'm not sorry. I regret nothing.
Anyway, point is, like you just said, that comedian said, you're trying to say they're not lying about anything.
I think it would be universally agreed by everyone listening to the sound of our voice that the government doesn't always tell the truth. I think that would be pretty much a universally agreed statement.
Here's a question. We'll end it on this before we move on to something else. If they were like, hey, we'll tell you everything that's going on. They'll let you in behind the scenes see the alien, see you. Like when, someone becomes president, they have to fill that person in on everything. You know?
I don't think they do that either.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
In theory.
That's what they say,
Sure.
right? So apparently, you know, when you become president of the United States, they have to let you in on all the secrets, quote unquote, or
they got to let you in on what they want you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another conspiracy that there's.
That's a fact.
That's a whole.
That is an absolute fact. That is.
But anyway, would you be like, yeah, I want to know, or would you fall in ignorance is bliss?
Oh no, I would want to know. That would be my first question. I want to take me to Sector 7.
Your first question would be like,
I want to see.
Is Elvis still alive?
Yeah, I want to know where's Tupac.
Where's Tupac?
I want to know where's Tupac. Alive? Where's Elvis?
What happened to Kennedy?
Yeah,
pyramids. I want to know.
Is Hitler really in Argentina?
What? What the hell?
You never heard that theory?
No.
Yeah,
you're deeper in this than I am.
There's all kinds of people. Oh, we know that. We know that.
What's Walt Disney is still alive in the freaking Cinderella castle?
His head. Yeah, his head is frozen. It's underneath Cinderella's castle.
You know, I believed that as a kid.
There's so many people that do.
I think there's people still believe it.
Well, there's also that other one where they say there's that rumor that people go and they spread their loved ones' ashes in the Haunted Mansion ride.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, they take ashes with them and they sprinkle it in and that Disney has to go and clean it up. And Disney's have since debunked it and said, no, that's not true.
But would they tell you if it was true?
No. No, they wouldn't. Exactly. Because no one would ride the ride.
Exactly. So maybe it is.
You know what I mean? And Hitler might be in Argentina. You know what I mean? Or at least he was. Dude, you know, he's probably
that just
dead
reminds
now.
me of the end of Deadpool 2, where Deadpool goes back in time.
Yeah, and he finds baby Hitler.
And he's
going, ooh, this is harder than I thought. Yeah. He's like, okay, it's for the betterment of humanity. It's for the betterment of humanity.
That is one of the most genius scenes.
Really funny.
Like, not even just comic book films, just in general. Yeah. The fact that Ryan Reynolds was like, yeah, we're doing this, and the way he played it off.
So funny.
Brilliant.
And then the fact that he couldn't do it.
Oh my God.
So good.
Because that's like,
hey,
because professors used to use it as like a philosophical question. Yeah. So it's like the fact
it's actually a very interesting thought experiment.
Yeah. So, because it's like, theoretically, if you do, you're saving hundreds, if not millions of people. So it's like, that is for the betterment of like humanity. But it's just really funny that like he like was acknowledging that, like,
you know, there's
you're so cute though.
There's an easier way to do it. You know what I mean? You just pay someone to go back and just tell him he's a really good artist when he was in prison.
Just give him hugs. Give him hugs as a kid. Kiss him. Take him to baseball games.
Somebody just. You know, buy him a bike.
Don't neglect him. You know take him to Disney World.
There was no Disney World yet. Maybe he could have helped.
Freaking A. Anyway, that Ryan Reynolds bit was genius.
Yes, that was really, really funny. But like I said,
cleaning up the timelines.
We did have a couple of things to actually talk about that was more coherent. But first thing we gotta acknowledge is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie did come out, hit theaters. And
neither of us have seen it.
Neither of us have seen this movie. Neither of us had time. But the thing that has been shocking, at least to me, it was shocking, is it has kind of been met with a very underwhelming box office.
Which is weird because it's got a 96 critic score and a 91 or 93 audience score. So the consensus is, I haven't heard a bad thing about it.
Yeah.
Everyone who I personally know who's seen it says they loved it. And just general reviews in general say that people are liking it. So it's weird that it's not translating into money.
Yeah, I mean, Barbie and Oppenheimer just continue to clean up in their third week or whatever it's at, where it's at. But even with that, I really expected the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to perform better than it did. I think it came in third in its opening weekend. It was third or fourth. I think it was third.
Third.
Did you see? When do you plan on seeing it? Because you're going to see it. I know.
TMNT?
We're both going to see it eventually. I was going to try and see it this weekend. What are we at? It's August 4th through the 6th. So it was, oh my gosh, it was 4th. Meg 2 came in second. Oppenheimer was third. I thought Oppenheimer was second.
Okay, Meg 1 was fun. Okay, completely stupid, but fun. So I actually want to see Meg 2.
I think I saw it.
You saw it with me.
I did?
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
It tells you how much I enjoyed it.
I mean, it was years ago. That movie came out a while ago.
Yeah. That's one of those guilty pleasure stupid movies that you just
it's like Fast and Furious in the water with a shark.
That's probably a good definition of it. But I'm surprised. I didn't realize that had such a following. That actually did 30 million its opening weekend, which is, it's not crazy, but it's not bad.
I thought TMNT, especially,
that was going to do it.
Yeah, because especially with the success of like Mario Brothers and Beyond the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, like I thought I was going to fall in those lines.
That was my thinking as well. And for it to come in fourth and only do 28 million.
Because it's also a family film too. So it's like everyone's going to bring their kids to see it. So usually films like that, if good, do better because, it's not restricted by age like, PG-13 or R. You know, so it's weird. Yeah, Barbie just keeps on trucking. I need to see Oppenheimer, I need to see Barbie, and I need to see TMNT. Yeah, I definitely I am jonesing to see Oppenheimer. That is my second most anticipated movie of the year, and I have not gotten to see it yet because I'm it's kind of a little huge history guy. Yeah, and I've read the book that it's based on, so I've just like been wanting to go, especially. But my wife has been out of town for a couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to get to the theater, but. Not because my wife like lets me go to the theater or anything. I haven't gotten permission. I mean, it's not like, I can't go to the movies because my wife's not home. You don't drive. I don't have a car. Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been hanging out with my kids and stuff like that, which I also do anyway. This is not sounding good for me either way. I know this is really just. You're a bad human, I guess. You get what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm talking about. Unbelievable. But I want to go see Oppenheimer. Barbie, I'm like, whatever. That movie wasn't made for me. But I'm really excited about Barbie. Yeah, a lot of people are. It made $1 billion. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, it's made a ton. But I think we're obviously going to see Blue Beetle next week. Yeah, Blue Beetle hits next week. And based on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man, I'm just like, man, I don't know what the box office. Blue Beetle is not going to do well in the box office, and that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard anything about what the what's the word I'm looking for? Predictions. Oh, the predictions is less. Is I told you this like a week or so ago. They're projecting that Blue Beetle is going to do worse than the Flash. Projections was the word I was looking for. Yeah, they're projecting it's going to do worse than the Flash, and the Flash lost WB 200 mil. Oh boy. Which is really sad and not fair. One, because we've never seen Blue Beetle before. It's a fresh start as far as a brand new hero. It's never even been hinted in these DC films before. And it actually looks fun. At least I personally think so. So I think it might be a Flash situation where obviously the Flash did bad for numerous reasons, most of which I would assume is Ezra Miller not being the best person. There was a lot of people not seeing that and because of him, and rightfully so. But taking that out of the equation and just looking at it as a film, I still thought it was a good film. And, it didn't deserve the hate it got as far as a film goes. It was just getting that hate because of Ezra Miller. But the film itself, I thought was good. I think you liked the film as well. Yeah, I didn't like it as much as you did. We said that at the time. But even it's also a bummer too, because it's like, yeah, everyone's boycotting and not wanting to watch it and hating on it because Ezra Miller. But like, he's one cog of this. There's so many other actors in it. All the directors, producers, writers, DP, everything behind the scenes. He's not the only one that was like involved with it. So it's really crazy that like because of the whole Ezra thing, it bombed. And I said this before. I don't think it's just because of Ezra. I think that definitely was a big factor, but it's definitely not the only factor. There's multiple reasons why that movie tanked as hard as it did, and some of that is just because people are just fed up with what they were doing with DC. Yeah. They know that this movie doesn't mean anything. They feel like they're being kind of led around by the nose by the studio, and people just kind of rejected it. Anyway, if Blue Beetle is a good film and it still fails, then it's like, that just means that everyone's checked out DC. It's not just the whole Ezra debacle. It would just be, nah, we're going to wait for Superman Legacy. Yeah, I honestly think that's a huge part of it, which leads us to one of the other points that we wanted to talk about, which is this Wonder Woman situation. Where Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, came out and said, "Oh, Wonder Woman 3 is in." I almost did a voice, and I pulled back on that at the last second. The Wonder Woman 3 is under development, and then some other people came out. Apparently, more. You can speak to it because I really didn't look at it. The one that actually saw it. So I think I have let me pull up the quote here. So, but basically what happened is Wonder Woman 3 was in an interview with comicbook.com, I believe earlier last week. Cause she has she has a new movie coming out on Netflix. So she was promoting it, but obviously whenever you're talking to Gal, you got to bring up Wonder Woman because she's Wonder Woman. Right. And, she said willingly that like Wonder Woman 3 is in active development. And that was that set the world. I was like, oh, we are getting like a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman again. We're getting a 3, and that's probably why they're doing Paradise Lost. So it's going to lead into that. Only for like 2 days ago, from us, talking about this right now, basically people who work, not James Gunn or Peter Safran specifically, but people who work for them or part of Warner Brothers and DC Films were like, yeah, no, though. It's not happening. It is not in active development, and there's no plans for it currently. Which,
I mean, where did you fall either way? Like when you heard that Gal was saying that Wonder Woman 3 is happening,
I was literally 50. I was like, yeah, no. Like I was literally, because like she's an awesome Wonder Woman. We saw that in the first one. For sure. That she, you know, if given a good script, good writing, good director, she nails it. Wonder Woman, I say it all the time, is still my favorite DCEU film.
Without question, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not my favorite DCEU film, but it's up there.
All right. For me, it's my favorite one. I thought, you know, anyway, I loved her in the role. I would like to see her go on. But at the same time, I think we've said it before, we both said it and agree. They just need to rip the Band-Aid and start anew.
Yep.
You're getting rid of Cavill, you're getting rid of Affleck. Like, why keep like Momoa, Levy, and Gadot? You know what I mean? Just if you're gonna do it, do it. Stop with the one toe in the pond, toe in the pool, and like just go. If you're gonna dive in. Don't be like.
I have been pretty firm in that position for a couple of years, and it just continues to frustrate me that they kind of are doing this half, you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're not really telling us either do it or don't. Even the you know, when Gunn and Safran took over, you know, we talked about how, you know, it just doesn't, for me, it just didn't feel like they were being honest. They were being told you have to, you know, make it seem like, oh, these are still relevant. These Shazam and Aquaman and The Flash are still relevant in some way, somehow. And it was just a show to try and get people to the theaters. And then we're going to find out after the fact that now we're just going to totally disconnect. That seemed like the most likely scenario, especially considering the direction that Gunn is taking things.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard that the other day about her interview, I was like, come on, man. Are you joking? I mean, it really was like, that's ridiculous.
That they're keeping her?
Yeah, just the concept that you're going to in any way keep this going after you have Shazam flop that way. The Flash flop that way. Blue Beetle looks like it's going to tank. Aquaman is people are literally walking out of the previews for this film. They're doing reshoots to try to salvage it. I mean, that's the same thing. Black Adam was performed horribly, even though you just had The Rock. Did you see this? The Rock went on Kevin Hart's Peacock talk show.
Saw this.
And Hart, of course, they talked. They're best friends. So they talked about it before, and they probably ironed out what they were going to say and the whole thing. So he was prepped. And he asked him, like, hey, what happened with Black Adam? You know, how could they not let you, after it was so successful, how could they let you not continue the character? And, you know, The Rock was like, you know, I just look at it like, you know,
changing the guard.
A football team. If you got a football team, you know, new manager, new general manager, new coach comes in. No matter how good the previous team was, that's not your quarterback. And they just get rid of people and they just start with their own team. It's kind of like the same thing. So, you know, we talked about it. It didn't make sense to me. We was really successful. The audience loved it. And it was the most delusional. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And this is kind of like the state of things. And that is why I say what happened with The Flash, I do not think it was all Ezra. The Ezra thing. It's that.
That clip was really funny, though.
Crap.
Because I watched that clip actually like 2 or 3 times because I was like, wait a minute. Because Kevin Hart kept saying how successful it is. Even after that clip, I went and I was like, how much money did it make? I think it made like 500, 400 mil worldwide. Which it's technically not a flop.
It lost money.
No, it didn't.
For the studio and domestically?
No, because it profited a little bit. That's why I say it technically wasn't a flop, because it wasn't in the negative, but it wasn't very successful either. Yeah. So, but that's how they're spinning it, because it's like, so it's like, and they're spinning it up by the opening weekend as well.
I gotta look this up because I read an article that said that Black Adam lost money for Warner Brothers.
Are they talking about because of marketing?
Yeah, the outlay,
the whole thing, because it made
because that's where it all comes together.
Because it made $393,000
million.
$1 million, yeah. Well, yeah, that would really be a flop. 393.
I know it didn't make 500.
So let's call it 400 mil. Let's call it 400
mil. So because the thing is, they did reshoots that ballooned the budget to almost $300 million. It was like $260 million budget for just production, because they had to do extensive reshoots after it got negative previews.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's when they also brought in Henry Cavill and they started doing all this other crap. So that ballooned the budget to like $260 million range. That was without the marketing. So you're looking at a box office that is, you know.
So let's say that
there's all kinds of stuff. Variety magazine, Black Adam to lose millions at the box office.
Let's say it was 260, right? Let's say it was 260. Then let's throw another 100 mil for marketing, right? You're at 360. It still made like $33 million.
No, because you still have to do the splits with the international box office. You have, and that's deep stuff because like various governments take cash and all kinds of stuff. So once you get done paying all the bills, they lost money for sure.
Well, what I'm seeing here is they're not calling it necessarily a flop. They're just calling it a box office disappointment because it's not technically a flop.
Sure. For what that movie should have been a close to $1 billion film, at least. That should have been a $600 to $700 million movie.
I'm not
minimum
arguing on that. I'm saying they're spinning it with a technicality is how they're doing it.
And I think that's kind of the issue. That's the point that I'm making. Is everybody knows this movie was not very good. What The Rock and DC did with Black Adam as a character was not very good.
Tim, you're telling me you didn't want The Rock to be the center focus of the DC film universe? You didn't want The Rock to be the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman of the DC universe? You didn't want to see Dwayne Johnson leading the Justice League. You didn't want to see Dwayne Johnson taking on Doomsday, taking on the Joker, taking on Reverse Flash, all at the same time because he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson? You didn't want to see that?
I mean, when you put it that way.
You didn't want to see Black Adam versus Marvel live action when they eventually did a crossover with Disney World in Marvel. You want to see? You didn't want to see Black Adam Rock versus Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Mario Brothers. You didn't want to see that? Kevin Hart said they wanted to see.
My God, you've opened my eyes. I've got a whole new outlook on life.
I will say I am a fan of The Rock, but I will also say he likes to be the center of attention wherever he is. And that's not always for the best.
Yeah. Look, I get it. Like you're trying to build yourself an empire. You're trying to, you're building a company. You're doing all these things. Your face is the brand. I get it. Kevin Hart, it's the same thing. That's why they get along so well. Kevin Hart learned about this stuff from people like The Rock by becoming friends with them and just using your persona as the brand to build an empire. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to build a media empire. But in doing so, because he's been so wildly successful, I think that, because we're all human beings and he puts his pants on like we do, it feeds the ego.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at some point you start to lose touch with how far should you take that?
Yeah.
Right. And I think in the case of Black Adam, I think that's what it was. And I don't think he even recognizes it. Because
I love the thing for being a comic book fan is the real, he's like, Black Adam's one of the most legendary, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily downplaying Black Adam, but
he's a great character.
Black Adam is an awesome character. But The Rock was making him seem like he was this A-list character. He was by no means an A-list character. No. He's a cool character, one of my favorite anti-hero / villains, but The Rock was making him, trying to put him on the pedestal or the level of like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like, it's not a thing. And it's like, you can't.
I would put him on a top tier villains list.
Yeah, but like, you know what? I would even say,
this is about to get.
I would go as far as saying, if you were to make a top 10 DC villain list, he doesn't necessarily have to be on it.
Ooh.
Think about it. Reverse Flash, Joker, Lex Luthor, any of the plethora of Batman freaking villains, Brainiac.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put, there's only maybe 2 Batman villains that you would put above Black Adam. In terms of overall DC impact?
Yeah.
What?
Dude. Okay, so you got
Joker for sure.
Joker for sure. Penguin is above Black Adam all day. Catwoman is above Black Adam all day. Mr. Freeze is above Black Adam all day. Riddler is above Black Adam all day.
I think this is Batman bias coming out.
No, as far you could say
not on DC Universe impact. Black Adam has had like major crossover.
Yeah, but
like impact.
No, those villains have had a plethora.
He literally was a part of the Justice League.
Yeah,
on multiple occasions.
Yeah, but like those villains have had so much more of an impact in DC and better stories.
Within the Batman universe.
I mean, but that's a DC. It's still
yeah,
DC
but
Comics.
I'm saying like as a whole, like where they do crossovers and major events and things like that. Black Adam has played a much bigger role in that capacity than any of these Batman villains. The Joker is the one you could point to and say, he's had major crossover impact.
You're talking about crossover with other characters, like interacting with
like major events, major universal impact.
I'm talking about just impact in general. Like, again,
if you're talking about like with fans.
Well, yeah, because like
definitely. I'll give you that.
Everyone knows who Joker, Mr. Freeze, Riddler, Catwoman is.
I'll definitely give you that.
Black Adam, not going to be a
thing. With the general public and fan base, I'll definitely give you that.
I was just talking about overall popularity in that sense.
I was talking about like impact within the storytelling universe of DC as a whole.
I mean, you could still make arguments for, Catwoman, certainly. I would still put above Black Adam in that sense.
Just because, especially because of her relationship with Bruce. Like you could say, but again, it's compartmentalized more to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, if you're talking about interaction with other characters, but it's like she also crosses over in a lot.
What I'm saying is like the things that those characters, the storylines that those characters have been involved in, haven't necessarily pushed the entire DC universe or altered it in one direction or another. Whereas Black Adam has been involved in storyline and played crucial roles in storylines that have had major canon shifts.
Yeah, well, because he's also a character that's like, he has to be in other people's things, which I kind of actually proves my point.
He's incredibly powerful and all kinds of stuff too.
But like he kind of has to be, as he doesn't really stand. I don't want to say he doesn't stand by himself alone that well, but like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to do he has solo series, but he's not going to have this run that's like he's going to support by himself for
because ages and ages. Well, I mean, that's true, I think, of most villains.
Yeah, not a lot of villains can do it on their own.
The heroes are the central focus, is why Black Adam started becoming an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And then a sympathetic figure overall.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like diss on Black Adam. he's one of my favorite characters.
Well, now we know Arris hates Black Adam.
I'm just saying, the whole point of this was that like he's not what The Rock was. So like it's not like because the same thing. Like I wouldn't want the Joker, who's way more like popular of a character, to be the center of a universe. Because that's even besides that, I wouldn't want a villain to be the center of a universe, which is why he was trying to
solo film.
Yeah, yes. But the center of a universe you're building out for a studio, because he was also trying to make him a hero, which was another annoying thing.
I would say that was the most annoying part about it.
Like, I get it. I understand. He's been a hero. He's been on the Justice League, like you said, a numerous amount of times. But he's more compelling, I think, as a villain / anti-hero.
Yes.
Like, that's what makes him compelling.
He would have been way cooler being introduced as a villain, who then as you learn more about him and he learns more about his place in the world, he determines that he doesn't want to, he's by force, like Superman forces him to stop. And then he says, okay, well, you're going to either handle your business or I'll be back, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like this lingering, lurking outside force that could come in and jack stuff up at any time. I think that would have probably been the best way to go, because that's what Black Adam generally is.
I mean, to be fair, they were kind of setting that up at the end, which is why Superman came in.
Yeah, but
and he's like,
but it was still like he was the hero. Yeah. And they made his backstory, totally changed his backstory. They made him way more sympathetic than he actually is.
They should have gone with the Jeff Johns backstory from the 52.
Yes. It's just, there's so many things, and it's just because of it had to be spun a certain way to fit The Rock's brand. And that's where the problem came.
That's where like it's rubbing me wrong, I think, in general. Because like The Rock couldn't just be the villain and have Zachary Levi be the hero and star of the film. Like he couldn't just be the Joker to the Batman. You know what I mean? He had to be like, no, because he's this rich history and you tell the story right. He's got to have a solo film. It's like, if that was, so you're telling me like the Joker didn't get a solo film first, but Black Adam needs to? Like think of it, all the best Joker performances, like Joker's only got one solo film. Yeah. And it's an Elseworlds thing. So you're telling me the Joker's not deserving of his solo film to set up everything before you introduce him to Batman, but Black Adam is?
Yeah.
That's what rubbed me wrong. It's like, I get it. I like Black Adam. He is like a big character in DC, but like he was making him something that he really wasn't. Like you didn't need to give him a solo movie at all.
I would say worse, what rubbed me wrong even more than that, worse than that for me, was how he was so opposed to appearing in a Shazam film.
Yeah, because he's a freaking Shazam
He's a Shazam villain. He had to make it Superman.
Yes.
It had to be Superman or it wasn't good enough for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That wasn't cool enough. It wasn't.
That would have been an awesome fight to see.
Yes, but later.
Yeah.
You have to build to that.
Yes.
You have to give the audience, you have to build up to that and give the audience a reason to anticipate that, to be excited about that, to look forward to that. You sneak up on the audience with that.
But that's again going to the thing where he has to be the one facing, because everyone knows Superman's the guy. So he has to fight Superman. So he had
to leapfrog Shazam and all this other stuff and make it to where he was just all automatically right out of the gate, he was toe to toe with Superman.
Yeah, it just rubbed me wrong.
And it just wasn't, when we first heard about it, we were both excited because we were like, hey, this could, if they do this right, we don't know what they're doing, but if they do this right, this could be really cool. But, The Rock's really making it sound like, he really wants to do this character justice and he really wants to bring something special to and so we were kind of really optimistic right out of the gate about it. And then even when he was calling out Superman, we were like, oh my gosh, if they eventually build up. But our thing was right from the start, we were like, if they start with Shazam and then you build up to, the Shazam and Superman teaming up to stop Black Adam, that would have been amazing. And that's what we were excited about. Yeah. We were looking forward to that possibly occurring.
For sure.
And then what we got, and I think that is what has really turned so many fans away from these films is because that's one example of just that, but they've been doing that with everything systematically.
It's like, why wouldn't you just, because he should have been the first villain for the film. Because it's like, it's the most obvious. Like if you're when you're first doing a Batman movie.
He should have appeared at the end of the first Shazam film.
Or you could have just made him the villain of the first Shazam film.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you don't want to do that. You want to do, Dr. Savannah. Fine. Have Savannah discover, Teth Adams' tomb at the end.
I mean, they're linked in the New 52 anyway.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Exactly.
So that, I mean, yeah, if you go that route, it definitely would work because you could have had Savannah, the first film, set it up. Second film is Black Adam versus Shazam. He can't take him down completely. So then you have a team up film of Shazam, Superman versus Black Adam. So then you could do the Dwayne thing where it's like, I'm so powerful, you need Shazam and Superman.
Yeah, it was so obvious. Have you heard about this? I don't know if it falls under Mandela effect or butterfly effect. Have you heard about this where a whole bunch of people remember seeing an end scene to Shazam where Dr. Savannah finds Teth Adams' tomb?
No.
And breaks it open at the end, and is
that really a thing?
That's really a thing. Look it up. A whole bunch of people remember seeing that as a post-credit scene.
They do show Black Adam as like a hologram in the film.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, when Billy's becoming Shazam, and I believe the wizard is giving him like the history of the powers of Shazam. You see like the magical hologram image of like Teth Adam.
I think I do, unless this is another.
No, that's legit.
This is another butterfly effect.
No. Go on Max, look it up. It's real.
But yeah, it would have been, it was just right there. It was so obvious and the fans would have eaten that up. But this is the problem. And it's not just DC, it's DC and Marvel, as we have talked about over and over and over again. So with going back to the Wonder Woman thing, it's this is the issue. It's like now you're going to come out and you're going to try and say, when I heard that, I was like, you've got to be joking. Make it stop. Someone stop. Please, someone stop the bleeding. Like just all of them are done. This is their last film. Wonder Woman 2 was her last film. 84 was the last one. Aquaman, whatever the New Kingdom, whatever the heck it's called.
Lost Kingdom.
Final Jason Momoa Aquaman film. Just all of it be done and start over. Please, I beg you.
Because they also lost their opportunity with not doing Flashpoint the way they should have in the Flash.
Yes. And they made it sound like they were gonna.
Don't get me on that rant. Don't get me, because there's literally video of James Gunn saying that the Flash will reset, reboots things going forward. When he did that whole announcement of the slate, he's looking in the camera like I am now and saying, and then we got the Flash, which is great, which is going to reset and the universe going forward.
I think he said it does a pretty good job or something like that of resetting.
He said reset, which is another word for reboot. Reset, reboot, doesn't matter. He basically said it's fixing everything going forward. It's rebooting, right? However you want to take it. He said reset, right? So like It did it. It did it. Because then people were like, oh, so that means then George Clooney is Batman? To which he replies, no, absolutely not. So it's like, but you said.
Yeah, and I'm fine.
So what they should have done, Tim, what they should have freaking done, but I get they're like, we don't know where we're going yet, so we're going to leave it vague. They should have done is had that new cast, that new Superman they cast, be at the end of that film, ready to go at the end of that film, or the new Batman, someone new going forward to be like, this is where things are going. So whether it's the Batman, because they were playing heavy with Batman in there, so that would have actually been cool. If the Bruce that was at the end was the Bruce that was going to be in Brave and the Bold with Damian Wayne Robin, that would have been something. Because everyone would be like, because just imagine them announcing who's playing Batman by doing that. Even
if they didn't do Batman.
Superman would have worked. The new Superman would have worked as well.
Or even Damian. Just Damian.
Anyone going forward.
And he interacts with the person, doesn't know who he is, and at the end he just says his name is Damian. I mean, people would have like lit up. But the people that saw it.
Oh, wow. What's crazy is
there wasn't many people.
The funny thing is for a while, I think the first 2 weeks, it was the #1 digitally downloaded movie across all platforms.
Which showed there was a lot of people that just didn't want to go spend the money to see it.
Proving the Ezra boycott. Yes. So there you go.
Yeah. Or just generally not wanting to spend that much money on that film. So that is something I always look for.
I kind of feel bad for Gunn in the sense where like these movies were already filmed and shot in motion and set in motion before he showed up. But at the same time, I'm like, because he's in a tricky situation because it's like, you can't make it seem like these movies don't matter because they're not going to make any money, even though they're still not making any money. But as a studio head, being the head of anything, you can't make your product seem like it's worthless. So like, no matter whether you agree with it or not, he's the face of it. He's the head of the studio. So he has to like talk positive about it. Right. So I feel bad in that sense. But at the same time, you can't hoodwink us being like, this is literally resetting everything. Yeah. You need to see it because this is going to reboot everything going forward. Then we watch it and we're like, so you did timelines. You had a bunch of crappy CGI cameos that were cool to see, but the CGI was really dumb. And you really didn't tell us where we're going at all. You just ended with a cool little nod to George Clooney, Batman and Robin, Batman, but still it ended. And how does this connect to the new Batman for Brave and the Bold, the new Superman going forward? I don't understand.
Which under a lot of circumstances would have been, the George Clooney thing I'm talking about, would have been fun by itself. Like, okay, that's fun, even though George Clooney was the worst Batman like of all time. Sorry, George. That was just, the movie was bad.
He's like, but I'm super good looking though.
Yeah. Love George Clooney. Great actor, but that was just, it was awful. I
found out my wife is all about George. She's like, yeah, if I was like 50, George Clooney though. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, George Clooney. Oh, who's still Robert Downey Jr. is another one. She's like, I was a little older, Robert Downey though.
She likes short guys.
She likes sophisticated old guys, apparently.
Sophisticated old men.
Got that swag, I guess.
Gross.
You know who's all about Robert Downey Jr. doesn't even need to be aged up? Your sister.
Which one?
Amanda. She is about Robert Downey Jr.
What do you mean he doesn't even need to be aged up?
I mean, she doesn't need to be aged up. Like, because she's like, what, 25 and he's like 55 or something like that?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, no, right now, Robert Downey, let's go.
I feel like that has something to do with money.
No,
someone's looking for a sugar daddy.
Because she said he's got that swag. Got that swag. He's funny and he's good looking.
Women do like confidence.
Yeah.
And he is Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, he
played Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, and he's kind of got that. I mean, he is like who he plays is kind of just who he is a little bit. So
this is how women find themselves in trouble right here.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? You go for the bad.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. He's a good looking guy. He's good. Like I kind of get it. I don't even know how we derailed on that.
Yeah, I don't know. How did we get to that? I was just saying that George Clooney was a bad Batman.
And then I went to the fact that my wife's like, he's an attractive older dude.
And then Robert Downey Jr. is attractive. I don't know. We got to a weird place.
So
the point is,
this is a funny thing. Me and my wife play. It's called Smash or Pass.
This is a
thing. This is a thing we do. I'll name a celebrity. Like I'll be like,
this is a
Michael B. Jordan, and she's like, smash, and I'm like, dang it. Or I'll be like,
I'll never be Iron Man.
I'll never be as good looking as freaking Michael B. Jordan. So and she's like, smash. And then she'll be like Margot Robbie. And I'm like, smash. And she's like, calm down. And it's really funny.
I've never, I have never played this game with my wife, and I don't know that I ever would. It's like, I don't want to know.
It's so funny though, because like now it's to the point where it's just random. Like it's just like we'll be watching a movie and she's like, "Smash or pass?" I'm like, "Pass," or you know, or whatever. Or like I'll do it to her in the grocery store. I'll like see someone and I'll be like, "Oh, like Shia LaBeouf," and she's like, "Smash." I'm like, "Yeah, I get it." Like, and it's just
you're asking about the guy at the counter.
No,
that's too close. It's too close.
We only do it with celebrities. So what's really funny is like we were talking about like celebrity crushes and stuff like that, and she was like, because you know we talk about that stuff. It's just a thing we do. Where it's like, who is like your top 10 celebrity crushes? Hence that game or whatever. And what is it? Rosario Dawson. Not Rosario Dawson. Alexandra Daddario. Oh my gosh.
That's a person.
Yes.
I don't know if that's
I don't even know her name, and she's one of my celebrity crushes. Alexandra Daddario? I believe it's Alexandra Daddario.
I think that's how you
She was usually in like Percy Jackson and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
that's Percy Jackson. That's what I know.
Yeah, but that was like one of her first
And she was in one of the, what's the name of that detective show on HBO?
Oh, The White Lotus.
What? No.
Is it The White Lotus?
No, it was called Detective something.
Oh, True Detective.
True Detective.
She was in True Detective.
She was in that.
But she's also in, is it The White Lotus?
I don't even know what White Lotus is.
Well, it's an HBO show. It's actually one of my favorite shows. And funny enough, that's where this story comes into play. So we watched that whole season 1 thing. And then by the end of it, she's like, wait, isn't that one of your crushes? And I'm like, and she's like, unbelievable. This whole time I've been watching this with you. And you're just sitting there like
salivating.
Yeah. I'm like, and I just started laughing because like, I'm going to end there. We're going to stop there. We're going to stop there. We're going to stop there.
So what we've learned today, boys and girls, is that Arris is really worried about aliens, and he's a creepy old man. Is what we've learned today.
This is a game I play with my wife. It's a fun game. Okay. All right. I learned some things.
This is how your wife is pinning you into a corner. Okay. Amber's pinning you into a corner because she's playing the game with you, but she's just racking up stuff to hold against you down the line.
There's some that I never like.
Dude, you're incriminating yourself is what I'm saying.
Cillian Murphy is one too.
Have you never heard of the right to remain silent?
Bro, no, it's fun. It's hilarious.
Jeez,
because like,
man.
Cillian Murphy was one I had no idea.
Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer and all that stuff.
I guess there's a lot of women who think he's attractive.
No, like everyone apparently thinks that guy's attractive.
What's remarkable to me is that he looks, you know what he looks like? And I love Cillian Murphy. He's great.
Yep, exactly. Bingo,
don't ask my daughter in front of me these things.
I saw her nodding behind that board.
That's my daughter over there.
Exactly.
Running the swisher.
Case and
I don't want to. I'm going to pretend that didn't. Hold on. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I don't want to know that. So, but what he looks, you know what he looks like to me? Love him as an actor. Guy is an amazing actor, but he looks like a human walking sugar skull.
No, I think
like one of those characters from the
bad boy swagger is what I've been told.
The Day of the Dead in Mexico.
Is it the bad boy swagger? That's like a big part of it too. Peaky Blinders, like see, there we go.
See, this is how women get themselves in trouble.
What's his name? Tom Hardy's another one.
You pass on the good guys and you go to the bad guys and you complain about how they treat you.
I was telling my wife that the other. I'm like, because all the guys, she like her type, which is funny because she ended up with me, but like her type is like
it's like a dirtbag.
It's like no.
Oh my God, what does that say about you?
I was kind of a little bit of a douche in my scene kid. Like I was a rock and roll scene kid, hardcore boy.
I knew you during those years.
Yeah, I was. So, but that we're not going to talk about that today. Anyway,
I got some pictures I could show you people.
So I kind of had like that whole like stereotypical like I'm in a rock band bad boy thing going on. But like her
wearing
type,
your skinny jeans.
Yeah, but her type now is like that rugged bad boy, like kind of a douchebag, but like if you mess with my girl, I'm going to kill you type thing. And I'm like, how me like because I had a guitar and I had long hair, like I don't understand.
Or she's trying to tell you something. You know what I mean? You got to take cues.
This totally derailed. Okay, with that,
I tried to tell you right from the start. Did I not try to tell you right from the start? This was going to be an interesting one. Hold on to your butts.
This is an interesting one
because Arris was in a mood.
Because like half of this
there was some verbal vomit coming. I knew it.
Half of this has nothing to do with pop culture or comic books at all.
I'm gonna be honest,
but you know what?
Kind of intentionally provoked some.
You know what? That's some of the best content because you get to know us better. You know, you're like, oh, you know, now I feel like I know things that not everyone else knows. You know,
we do know some things now.
I'm letting you in. I'm letting you inside of my brain, and it's scary in here, guys. It's so scary.
It's got real weird, man.
Comic books. I love them. Weird. You love them. You love them. That brings today's podcast to a close.
Sometimes you just got to get some things off your chest.
There we go.
There we go.
I can't wait for the comments.
I don't even know what to title this episode. I really don't. It's going to be interesting.
Anyway, with that said, Tim.
Next week it is.
Next week it is. We'll see you guys next time when we talk about all things comics.